Welcome to the video demonstration of Extract, Transform, Load, or ETL, using the Pentaho Business Intelligence tool. We ended our body of work with our 4S assignment, and we learned from there that what's missing in our presentations is data. So the next step is for us to identify and collect data that will be integrated into our 4S narrative, like statistics that will support our gap in the start. Another is data sets collected from our surveys through questionnaire. Generally, data that comes from our source systems. After successful identification of collection of such data, we will process the data using what is called ETL. We're going to use the Pentaho Business Intelligence tool for this purpose because it combines capabilities of ETL and also data warehousing. We can also use productivity tools like Microsoft Excel in doing ETL. However, if we have vast amount of data, productivity tools may be inefficient. Let's install first our software. In our LMS, under Week 5 Learning Resources, go to the topic Software Resources and Installation Guide. Under Resources tab, click on Pentaho Business Intelligence Tool and Database Integrator, and you will be redirected to my Google Drive, which contains 3 files. First one is a Java Development Kit, a MySQL connector, because we're going to test integration with the MySQL database management system, and lastly, Pentaho Data Integrator Community Edition. All these files are less than 2 GB. After downloading the files, go back to our Software Resources and Installation Guide and follow the instructions provided. After successful installation, let's now open our Pentaho Business Intelligence tool. So inside the Data Integration folder, locate Spoon, the Windows batch file, and double-click it. It may take a while depending on the capacity of your computer. So here is the welcome page of our Pentaho Business Intelligence tool. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a Kettle Transformation File for data cleaning. On the left side of the screen, we have transformations. Double-click it. And as you can see, we're given options of categories of transformations. If you would skim it, we have big data, we have cryptography, which are current trends in the information technology world. Inside every category are different transformation tools. And what we're going to do in our canvas is we would drag and drop transformation tools, and we're going to design somewhat like flowchart or a process map or a process model. I'm going to use a data set from work. Just a rationale of this data set. It's a data set for farmer beneficiaries of our fertilizer project. As you can see, the data set form is clean because there are no merge cells. However, the content of the data is quite dirty. Like for example, in the field last name, first name, middle initial, there are extra spaces on the cells, and there are different special characters that are unnecessary. So we would like to transform this data set into its clean version. Let's start the demonstration. ETL starts with extract. So we're going to extract data from our source system. And my source system is a CSV file. So most of the extract transformation options come from the input category. We have a CSV file input. Click it and drag and drop it into a canvas. Double click it and just browse the CSV file. There you go. Next is we're going to click Get Fields. Okay. I would like to change the string data types length to 50 just to make sure that storing to our database will have no problem. So I want to change this to 50. Last name to 50. First name to 50. Middle initial to 50. Suffix to 50. Oops. Suffix to 50. I would like to change Boolean type to string. Barangay to 50. Municipality to 50. Province to 50. Would also like to change the data type of birth date to string. Remove the format. Change this to 50. The rest of the strings, just change it to 50. And for the rest of the data types integers, just leave it be. Click OK. I would like to preview the dataset. And for me to do that, without loading it into a platform, I can just search for dummy. So it's under the flow category. So drag dummy, hover on your CSV file input and click on this icon so that you can connect it to the dummy main output of the step. Save your file, like to name it into special topics to data cleaning Kettle Transformation File. Save. And on the upper left side of your screen, click the run icon. Run. As you can see on the log, there is no error. Go to the Preview Data tab. As you can see, we've loaded our dataset. So what we see on our CSV is also what we see in our preview data using the dummy. Now we want to transform our dataset into its clean version. So we're going to use transform category in transforming our dataset. So most of the transform tools are under the transform category. So let's examine transform. First, I would want to select values first. Let's just delete the connection here. I want to select values. I'm going to drag select values. Connect it first. And then double click select values. And on the right side of your screen, click get fields to select. And as you can see, all of the fields from our dataset were loaded. What I would want to do here is I would like to rename my fields into its short form. So there is an option here to rename your fields. Let me just change my fields. So there we have it. I will rename my fields into its shorter form. Okay. After that, I will try to connect select values to dummy. Save it and then run it. There are no errors on the logging. Go to preview data. As you can see, all of my field names are changed into a shorter form. Next transformation that we're going to do is we're going to trim the extra spaces before and after our names. And we're also going to transform our text fields from lowercase to uppercase. So how to do that? Let's first delete the connection from dummy. And we're going to do string operations. Drag and drop string operations. Connect select values to string operations. On the lower center of your screen, click Get Fields. As you can see, all of the fields were loaded. Trim type, I want to trim all the spaces on both sides. After selecting the first one, you can hover on the trim type field and then right click it. The context menu will show and copy field value to all rows so that all other fields will have the same value. Under lower and upper, I will try to select upper. We want to render all of our data into its uppercase form. So just like a while ago, I want to select upper for all of my fields. So right click here and copy field to all rows. The rest of the options will have no changes. Click OK. Connect string operations to dummy. Save and run. Preview data. As you can see, all of the extra spaces from our last name and first name are gone. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we want to transform all of our enye into n because this data set is going to be loaded to a bank, and some of the banks here in the Philippines does not accept special characters like enye, so they want to transform it to n. And also I want to eliminate all of the different special characters in my dataset. How to do that? We're going to use replace in string. We're first going to delete this connection, and then we need the replace in string. So connect string operations to replace in string output. double click it, and I would only like to apply it to certain fields. So we will not click our get fields, but instead we're going to select individually in the in-stream field. So going to select first name, search Enye, replace with capital, replace with N. There can also be Enye in my middle initial, so apply the same. And the last name, also on the address. So barangay, municipality, province. There. And we also would like to remove all special characters, right? So let's select again the names. First name. We're going to use a regular expression or regex if you're familiar with that. So select yes, and the regex form is this: backslash p, small p, curly bracket, punct, or short for punctuation. Okay, enter. We'll also apply that to middle initial. Yes, just copy this and paste it. And last name, yes, copy, paste. Suffix also. There may be special characters in our suffix like the period in junior and senior. I think we selected the wrong one. This should be last name. Okay. Save. Run. There are no errors. Go to preview data. And as you can see, the last name, first name, middle initial, and suffix are now clean. Next. In most cases, we would like to concatenate different fields from our data. Like in our last name, first name, middle initial, and suffix, we would like to concatenate it into full name. So we can do that using concat field. Concat fields, drag and drop it, connect it, double click, and we just have to supply the target field name, full name, separator, space right, remove enclosure, and just select the fields that you're going to concatenate. So it's first name, middle initial, last name, and suffix. Okay. Connect concat fields to dummy, save, run. No errors, preview. And on the last column, we have added full name. Also, most of the time, we also add fields that are related to processing. So how to do that? Just delete this connection first, and we want to add constants. So drag and drop, add constants, connect it, double click, add constants. I want to add batch. Its type is string. Value is batch1, for example. Also want to add date submitted. This one's also a string. I'll explicitly put the date. I also want to add remarks. This one's also a string. Approve. Lastly, processed by. This one's also a string. Brian. Okay. Connect it. Save. Run. There's no error. Go to the preview data. Let's see on the last columns of our dataset if it's already included. So there, all of the constants were added into our dataset. Unusual cases, we also would want to add timestamps, and timestamps can easily be integrated into our Kettle Transformation File under Input. We just have to delete this first and search for Get System Info. Drag and drop Get System Info. Link add constant to Get System Info. Double click Get System Info, and I would want to name this field date process. Its type is system date variable. Click OK. Connect Get System Info to our dummy. Save and run. Review data. Let's see if it's added on our last column. So as you can see, we've added a timestamp into our dataset. Pretty easy, huh? So all of the transformations required are already done. Most of our or all of our data from our dataset is already clean. Now, we would want to load it into our different platforms like productivity tools like Microsoft Excel or in our databases. Let's delete this. First, I would want to select all of the values again. So that all of the fields will be selected. Connect this to select values. Double click select values and just click get fields. Okay. And I would want to load it into an Microsoft Excel document. So under output, choose Microsoft Excel Writer. Connect select values to Microsoft Excel Writer. Connect it. And then you just have to name it. Then I would name this Palawan Cleaned. Okay. And then for the rest of the options, just leave it be. Click OK. Main output. Also, simultaneously, I would like to save it into my database table. So there's an option here for table output. Drag and drop it also. Let's connect it. Main output. Distribute. Initially, click on table output. Let us establish the connection first. Click new. And as you can see in the middle, there, there is a plethora of different database management systems to choose from. My choice is my favorite database management system, which is MySQL. Input the credentials. Mine it's localhost. I have already created a test database beforehand. Port number is the same. My SQL credentials is the default, so it's root and there's no password. I would like to name this connection test DB connection. Click test. Connection to test DB connection was successful, so it's successful. Okay. Name your target table. I would like to name it Palawan Clean, just like the name of my Microsoft Excel. And then I will have to create the database table first. So on the lower center of your screen, click SQL. And as you can see, we have a simple SQL editor with SQL statement create table. On the lower center of your screen, click execute. OK. Close. So let's check our MySQL if there is really a database table Palawan cleaned inside our test DB. Go to your local host, phpMyAdmin, under test, and there is a Palawan cleaned table created. Okay, go back to Pentaho, just click OK, and let's first load our transform dataset into our Microsoft Excel writer. So click table output, so it will be disabled. Save and then run. There are no errors. And let's try to find the Excel file Palawan Clean, if it was really created. So there is a Palawan Clean file, and it contains the clean dataset. Okay, next, let's try to load it into our database management system. So disable the connection in Microsoft Excel Writer and enable the connection to table output. Save file, run. There are no errors. Let's go to our phpMyAdmin. Refresh. And as you can see, the dataset is loaded into our DBMS. So as simple as that, we've created a simple Kettle Transformation File for data cleaning. We've barely scratched the surface of Pentaho Business Intelligence tool for ETL. Now it's up to you to explore this business intelligence tool and maximize it to your content. Thank you.